Hello everyone, my name is Dongyue. I come from EFWE team. In this video, I want to talk about some details of our environment. This part is very important, so I want to mention them again. First, let's go to the web API project and then go to the web API folder and then go to the app siting. So you will see there's a part of code of app siting. We need to change this line. In here, this source, this is your name of your SQL server. When you open the SQL server, you will see there's a name. Let me show you. Okay, here is the name of your SQL server. This is a local SQL server, so just add it like this. So just like edit this part like this and keep other part totally the same. You don't need to change this row. This environment is only for your local test. So okay, let's go to next. Go to the property part. When you open the launch setting.json, you will see there's some change. Default is 5001 and the default localhost is 5000. So when you save this and run the API, you will see we will have some code for the local host. There is 5001. That's why we need to change it to 443 and 8. So by this way, we can only input localhost, but this is not really important. If you want to leave it as the default, that is okay for you. So you will see this part and change to localhost. Okay. Next, when you open the database and go to our forex part, and this part of code is on trade. So you want to run the on trade code, you need to test the web API first. Use the Postman, and there's a simple function of our on trade function. This first step is to get account ID. So here we are. Go to the web API and found. Go to the controller and forex controller to find the get login ID. Here we can see the get login ID function. So in the Postman, you will use this function's name and copy it and paste it to the Postman like this. The first part, HTTP localhost, as we have changed it, is only localhost, and the folder is forex. Then just put your login ID. So why we put this part of code in here? We go back to the localhost, and you will see we need two elements to run this Postman test. They are login and server. Why we use this two part? We go to the forex DB. It is in the DB access. So we go to forex DB and open DB. We also to found the get login ID so many. Get forex. Oh, where is it? See that it is get forex login ID. Go to the database, open it. Okay, here we have the function is get forex login ID function, and you will see the first part is called the procedure. The procedure is in the database. We will talk about that part later. So you get two elements. They are login and server. We name it login and server, and we use these two elements in the procedure. So you want to test any function, you go to the database, because this is a transmission from the API to database. So just check what element you will need, just like this, and go to the database and open our database. This is a table, and this is our procedures, and go back to see what procedure we called. This is a forex sp get forex login ID. So we go back. This is a forex sp get forex login ID. Yes, this one. So you open this one, just check modify, and you will see we use that two element. They are login and server. We use these two element, and then this part is go to the forex login table. We use that two part, and we found it in here and here, and then we return the ID. You see that? This is some circle code, so you will read it yourself. So we just confirm there's a login with this number and server with this, and then we return the ID, and then in our code we get this ID. So you can see when I run the server, okay, let's go ahead. Then we open the Postman. We already input the login and the server. You can see the server is totally the same, forex.com 106, and we test 110. So we go back to check 110. It should return 2. So let's run the Postman. Okay, you will get the number 2 here. So if we run the third part and then send, you will get the number 3. This is how we use Postman to test our API. So make sure your API is totally worked. And when your API is worked, we go back to our database to talk about some basic table we need to use for our onTrade function. So when you run the onTrade function, you will find there's there's some table. We transfer our date to these tables. So and also there's some trouble about our table because there are some foreign keys. The first foreign key is the login ID. We get the login ID from this part. So about this login table, I only give the table, but there's nothing information in that table. You should create that information for your table. For example, you need to okay, let me introduce some very useful code. Insert. If you want to insert some code to the forex table, you just do it like this. For this table, you only need this 3 column. You only need input this 3 column. Why? That we okay. Let's talk about the table. Why we only input this 3 elements? That because we already set some default element information to the other part. The ID, the create date, update date, the delete date, we already have it. So you only need 3 elements. Like the ID, we can okay, you will see I already insert some part to the table. So this part I will mention the login ID. If you run the test on your local, so the login ID should be your login ID. Here is my login ID. It's 2271434. Like this. This is my server. Actually, we don't care about the password, so the password you can do it yourself. When we run the Postman test, I suggest you input your login ID and server here, and then we go back to test if the Postman is totally work. And also for the next one is order type table. The order type table, we actually we already have some logic to input some part of code into this table if there's nothing in that table. But I think when you download the table from Bitbucket, that structure is maybe different. I will talk to the manager of the EFWA teams. So we will update the table again. In this part, I will give you how to create this table with the circle fill like this. I will give them to you, and you need to input some original date into the table. I suggest to totally like this one because they are shown in the official web page of MT5. So we download them and input them here. And after this two part, and there's another table is symbol. It also have a foreign key, but our logic can cover that part. If there's nothing information in that table, the procedure can input this information itself. So let's go to see the forex log order procedure. So in this procedure, if there's nothing in that table, we can update all this part to the tables, the forex or something. This is a little complicated. You can read it yourself. So yeah, I think that's all. So after the API is ready, the tables are ready, and we can run our code like on trade. Okay, there's another part I want to mention is go to the include EFWERT, go to the relay fields about our on trade function. This part is what requires we release this row, like this is a local test, right? We only use this row. At the beginning, you will see some part of code like this. So this row is not for local, it's for the server API. So you want to test your local, so you just release this row and save. Okay, so that's all. All the marketing is closed. So yeah, if you have any question, please feel free to connect to me. Okay, that's all. Thank you.